Good afternoon. I'm Shawn Shapiro. I'm a chiropractor from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I own Port City Chiropractic, and it's been a week or so since I've been live. I had some issues where I was in the hospital for a couple days. Hey, how are you? And I was in the hospital for a couple days, or not a couple days, but I was in the hospital, and I was in pain for a couple days. So I decided to give myself a break and not put myself under the stress of continuing to do lives. But a new subject has come up that is near and dear to my heart. That seems to happen every year about this time, and it's a lot about the boots that people are wearing now. I'm just as guilty of wearing boots in the winter, trying to keep my ankles out of the snow, trying to, get a better grip on the ground and stuff like that. But a lot of these boots, it's really kind of funny. They weigh a ton, especially like Sorels. Those are very heavy boots. And believe it or not, those boots, they alter your biomechanics tremendously in your spine. So you could be walking around doing all the right things to make sure you don't fall over, but if your boots are too heavy and your feet and ankles and calf muscles are not strong enough or pliable enough, you can actually be doing severe damage to your low back. And once you start messing with the low back and the pelvis, you can cause all kinds of problems with the upper back, headaches, all kinds of things. I had a patient today, every year about the same time, he has this chest problem, okay? And I've watched him the last couple weeks come in with these really heavy boots, and he's in good shape, but he's not like a weightlifter. Doesn't have super huge muscles in his lower legs and stuff like that I'm aware of. And what I think it is I think that this chest pain that he gets, these ribs here, happen because he stops wearing his orthotics. When we give you a set of orthotics, that balances your pelvis out. That balancing your pelvis is huge. But once you put in like an UGG, put on an UGG or a Sorel or any kind of fuzzy interior boot, which is nice and warm and probably feels real good while you're wearing them as far as, keeping you from getting cold and stuff like that, you start doing a lot in terms of damage to your low back, upper back, neck, and all that. So, hey, Caitlin, how are you? So ultimately, wearing the boots is causing his upper chest problem. Now, I know what to do with it, but it wasn't until he popped up with this today, same time as it was last year. I looked, he had a chest complaint, and it was the ribs in his chest because his spine was bending in the back. And I think that happens at the same time every year because he wears the same damn heavy Sorel boots. I think they were Sorel, but they were boots, the very heavy boots that he's wearing that are causing him the problem. So it's really important that when you wear the boots, that you try to find boots that, first off, if you're a patient here and you're wearing your orthotics, you can remove the interior. If you're putting your orthotics on top of the fuzziness of an UGG, on the top of the fuzziness of a Sorel or anything like that, it's not going to work. You just need it. You need it not to be laying on that fuzz, so to speak. Okay, and then secondly, okay, you really need to start, if you're going to wear heavy boots in the winter, if you're going to wear any kind of boots in the winter, and this goes for heeled boots, okay? I see a lot of people, we sell an orthotic that works with high heels up to 2 inches, but if you don't have the strength in your foot and in your ankle, then you're going to be causing more of the same problem, low back pain. So if my goal is to get everybody to the point where they don't need the chiropractor as much anymore, then I really need to bring this up as a winter thing here in the Northeast. If you're a heavy boot wearer, okay, then you really need to start looking at your strength of your ankles and your feet. And if you all of a sudden get upper back, lower back, neck, headaches, chest pain, all this weird stuff that sort of crops up from having these heavy boots that you're dragging around, okay, and creating pathology. They're actually creating biomechanical pathology. You can see how people walk with them, especially if they don't tie them, right? if they're not, a lot of people walk around with their boots untied, and you see them sliding back and forth in the boot, causing all kinds of problems. So it's really important that you keep your boot wearing down to a minimum. And if you're going to wear them at all, make sure that you have a boot that you can put your orthotic in if it's a three arch foot leveler system. Otherwise, don't bother, right? But just some of the other things that the boots can cause, they can cause, pain and fatigue in your tibialis anterior, which is the muscle on the front of your shin. So if you're looking at your right leg and you feel in between your fibula and your tibia, okay, that is the muscle there. That's a tibialis anterior, and that's a problem. They can cause problems with calf muscles as well, mostly the soleus muscle, which most people need to stretch like nobody's business, right? So just a ton of problems that come from it, right? Many winter boots have stiff, thick soles and high collars for warmth and waterproof. This limits the ankle dorsiflexion. So you start walking improperly because you start walking like I can walk like a penguin, right? Because you can't dorsiflex your ankle. If you don't know what dorsiflexion is, you'll have to come in and I'll explain it to you, or Google what dorsiflexion of your ankle is. But you don't get that mobility into that ankle. Things start stiffening up, okay? And then you don't, if your ankle stiffens up, then you don't have the shock absorption you need there, okay? Which can cause some foot pain, but mostly it's going to cause hip and low back pain, right? And it can cause Achilles tendonitis, all kinds of problems, right? So my advice is find a lightweight. That's what I did this year. I found a lightweight Keen boot that really does a good job taking the orthotic in it and holds me accountable. It's not a tied boot. It's a slip-on boot, but it does give me the support I need in my ankle without keeping my ankle from dorsiflecting or moving in any direction whatsoever. So I have good mobility in it. It also is, thermally supported, so it's not a cold boot, okay? And then there's some ankle stretches and some foot and ankle and leg muscle exercises, mostly stretches that you can do. That if you if you just DM me stretch, I'll send you the 3 top stretches to work on your boot problem going forward. And then a lot of people say, well, the Uggs are really, really light, Dr. Shawn, so does that mean they're okay? No, because Uggs, because of their softness, create overpronation. First off, 90% of the people watching this right now are pronators, and 90% of that 90% are superpronators, which means that if you wear an Ugg and you're a super pronator or a pronator, you're super de-duper pronating in that Ugg, okay? And that can cause all kinds of flat foot syndrome stuff that they won't let you into the military before, right? It also alters your gait mechanics, all right? And your feet have a hard time stabilizing, which creates a lot of this back and forth sort of thing. And this is true in the summer with the Crocs. And kids, you know who I'm talking to? Talking to my kids right now. Get the Crocs off, for crying out loud, all right? Because the Crocs are just not sustainable, okay? But this can all cause shortened Achilles tendons, pain in the soleus, pain in the low back, pain in the upper back, okay? All kinds of problems throughout your entire body, okay? So if you're going to wear Uggs, wear them very sparingly. And when you're at home, put in your regular shoes. Do not put orthotics in Uggs. In fact, don't buy Uggs if you can help it, right? I know that they're great. Tom Brady was a spokesman for them, the whole bit. But ultimately, Uggs are not your friends. Uggs may look cool and they may feel real warm and comfortable, but they are doing you in, okay? So if you're a guy or a girl playing golf in April and May, your Uggs are going to kill your game, okay? They are going to make you slice because they are going to flatten your feet and stretch your Achilles, you're shortening your Achilles tendon, and you are not going to be able to get around the ball until maybe end of June or July at best. So stop wearing the Uggs right now, okay? And like I said, if you have questions, feel free to DM me, but also feel free to just DM me stretch, and I will send you the 3 stretches you need to overcome bad boots, and I'll admonish you for wearing bad boots in the first place, but at least you get the 6 stretches for free. So that's about all I have for today. I'm glad I got on and did a live again. It's hard to get up for these sometimes, and I'm happy that I did. I'd like to thank the 2 people that stopped by. Hopefully I'll be able to do it at a better time next time, so we'll get some more people. And I know I've got some friends who want to join me when I learn how to talk again. It's according to them. So we'll get some of that stuff going soon too. Everybody have a great day.